Hi my friends, we're back. My name is Gloria. This channel is Untitled by Gloria. I definitely want to change it at some point, or maybe not, maybe it'll just stick. But the premise of this channel is mental health, everything related to mental health, and not in the sense that I'm a mental health professional and these videos are exactly what to do or a way to diagnose you or anything like that. This is very strictly a community channel. This is where we can talk and discuss, show all the ugly sides of ourselves without feeling judged. And that's really the goal of the channel, is a safe place, because a lot of times people don't really want to talk about things, or if they do talk about things, there's this fear. And sometimes it just takes one person being a little bit vulnerable, being a little bit open. And that's me. I'm that person sharing. And I'm hoping that as we do episodes and as we continue this journey together, that we really get to dive deep into these topics and really share resources with each other, because I think that community health starts with your friends, with your family, with your neighbors. It's hard to know where to look for help if you don't know where to look. It's hard to ask questions if you don't even know what the questions are. So how are you going to find those answers? And today's video, I have a very specific question, and it was prompted by a Facebook group that I was in, but it's something that I hear all the time. And I'm pretty much talking to everybody who has children, but please let me be clear that though I'm speaking generally, I am more specifically talking about mothers. We're so judgy. We all disagree on how to raise our children, and then we complain about it. And I'm not really blaming individual people, but I am blaming the culture that we live in, and I really think we need to break it. Because there's a saying that it takes a village. It takes a village to raise a child. And I've heard that sometimes in the form of like discipline, where usually older people were like, oh yeah, if I messed up and my neighbor down the street saw me doing something mean, they would be able to discipline me how they felt fit. And they would, call my mother or walk over and tell my mother, like, your kid was acting up and I spanked him, or I did whatever it was that they felt was the right thing to do. And then mom would say, oh great, thank you, I will take it from here. Whereas nowadays we're a little bit more guarded and like, don't touch my kid, you're not the parent. And so I've heard it in that respect, in that regard of like, oh, but it takes a village and kids were better back then because they were disciplined by everybody. But I wish, if we were really gonna be saying that we use that for all aspects of it, then not so much like I want other people spanking your kid. I don't know if that's how it came out, but that's not what I mean. What I mean is that there's been plenty of women who have said, I want to go back to work, or I work from home. I keep hearing that somebody else is raising my children. And there's a lot of guilt that is felt when children are sent to daycare or sent to home daycare or sent to whomever. And sometimes there's like a compromise where grandma steps in and can watch the babies or watch the little kids, and it's a little bit better. But sometimes you have to just find your village. You know what I mean? We're not parenting. I really don't think that we are parenting the way we were supposed to be parenting. We're not. It's so lonely and soul crushing and isolating. And I know that sometimes people hear all that sort of stuff and you complain and you're like, oh my gosh, I'm drowning in all this stuff. Even with stay-at-home moms, there's a lot of depression that sits in there because it's lonely and it's not valued as much as it should be, because it is exhausting and there's no breaks. We all love our children. We want the best for them, but the best for them is to have a parent who's not exhausted and burnt out. You could have the best job in the world and still get burnt out if that's all you do. But there's no break with children, and I think that's where the it takes a village really comes into play. I don't think it takes a village to raise a child because the child needs the village. Maybe a little bit, but I think the mother needs the village. The father too, but let's be real, like, culturally speaking, it's the mom who has a lot of these things. Like, my daughter's going to kindergarten. Who's going to register her? Who's going to go to the doctors and get her physical and stuff like that? It's always like put on typically the mother, unless the mother's like, hey, I need you to do this, which is kind of unfair because no one manages and does the same work all at the same time. Like, being a manager is its own role. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of invisible labor. I do agree that it takes a village to raise a child. We just don't have that village. We all agree with that. If you tell anybody it takes a village, everybody, yeah, totally. No one's going to disagree. So how come when we create that village, we get that daycare provider, we get a babysitter? My babysitter right now for my 2 toddlers, she 100% is part of my village. Step by step, I have stopped caring so much what others have thought and created my own village. And I still have a ways to go to kind of let go of all of that guilt that gets heaped onto us every single day. It's really hard, and it's so bad for our mental health. And we feel stressed, we feel burnt out, we feel depressed, anxious. We say we need help, and society says, don't complain. Isn't this what you wanted when you had kids? You had kids. This is what your consequences. You got to deal with your consequences. And they make it sound like it's a punishment almost, and you just have to suck it up because you decided that you wanted children. Having children and doing the bulk of all of the labor is punishment for deciding to have kids or having sex, or I don't know. And if you say anything negative about being a mother at all, then there's this like, you don't like your kids? These are blessings. No one said that they didn't like their kids. Everybody's just saying, help me. Stop judging me. I feel like I'm failing. That's what you hear a lot. I feel like I'm failing trying to be me and mom. It's so draining. It's so unfair. Also, do you see this big giant bruise? This past weekend, I did a mud run, savage race. It was awesome. I was not training for it at all. I did a lot better than I thought, and it really motivated me to do more exercise so I could actually finish all of the obstacles rather than just, I don't know, what did I do? Like half-ish, maybe? But either way, yeah, we could talk about that later. Either way, what I'm saying is we need to be nicer to ourselves and we need to be nicer to each other. I feel like this could be a super long conversation. We could have tons of theories, and obviously sexism is at play, and obviously there are cultural elements to this and all of that stuff. But why can we agree that it takes a village, and then we when women start looking for that village, stop shaming people for looking for support, accepting support, providing support? If you've ever felt burnt out as a mother, just be nice. If I could just end this little tiny segment with any type of unsolicited advice, it's be nice to yourself, be kind to yourself, and support somebody else as well. Wanting a career does not make someone a bad mother. And if you think that, you need to reassess yourself, and you need to process whatever it is that you need to process so that you can be helpful. If you really think that this person is struggling at doing all of these things, then pitch in or sit down. The way that we're setting up moms right now is for failure, and we feel it. That's why there's so many women out there saying, I feel like a failure, because they are not reaching the standards that society has placed, and that is for a reason. If there's anything failing, it's society's pressure. It is society is failing women. Why do we all feel like we're failing? We're not. It's unrealistic. and we can't keep going like this. And so anybody wondering, am I failing my children by putting them in daycare or with a home provider, whomever? No. Am I failing my children by being career-minded or wanting a job? No. Am I failing my children by staying home all day with them and not providing them that daycare environment? No. We're failing you by thinking that you can do everything, that you're not supposed to do everything. It's supposed to be a team, and there's no team. I'm gonna go ahead and end it because I'm getting a little bit rambly, I feel like, and I'm repeating myself a bit, and I feel like I could repeat this until I was blue in the face. But if there's anything that you heard from this video, it's not failing at any of it. Motherhood shouldn't make you feel lonely. It only feels lonely when you're alone. Please be good to yourself, be kind to yourself, forgive yourself, and let me know how your week goes. If there's anything else that you guys want to talk about, please let me know. Otherwise, I will keep uploading topics. Again, they will all be mental health related. Before I sign off, please subscribe, like, share, comment, all of that. I really do want to make a community. Also, apologies for the background, my messy desk. This is kind of the only place that I was able to record today because of the kids. So on that note, I have to go make dinner. Thank you so much, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.